Hey guys, well, it's a beautiful Saturday today, and I'm going to get into a little bit of work on this car, this little Mazda. You see, this car has been hit in the rear end at least twice, so it's really looking bad back here. It's got a bumper cover that's chipped and cracked and got a hole cut in it for some reason, and the deck lid's been hit. So I decided, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this. I thought I would just keep it and just use it like as is, but then I decided, well, I can probably do a little work on it and make it look a little better, so that's what I'm going to do. I've already had a bumper cover for it. It's in the garage in there, and yesterday I went and picked up a new deck lid for it at the junkyard. So I'm going to work on that today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that bumper cover off and see just exactly what is what under that, because it's kind of bowed out right here, and I've been under it and looked at it, and I know the reinforcement is pushed in on this side. It evidently got hit two different times in two different places. I know it's got hit right here, and then it got kind of looks like it got hit square on in the back right there, and it has the thing that worries me some as far as like things being out of alignment is that the deck lid closes fine as is, but I'm going to make another trip over there to the neighbor's house and see what more stuff they've got. I've been going over there, and she's been running the yard sale, and she's got some pretty neat stuff over there. But like I said, what concerns me a little bit is I think we've got some issue with this right in this area here pushed in, because obviously the bumper cover doesn't fit up against the car anymore, and more importantly, the taillights don't fit into the car anymore. You see how that's off there like that? They touch on the top and the bottom, and they don't fit in the center. So same deal over here, not quite as bad. So probably what's going on is this here has got rammed in, and the trunk lid still matches, because this trunk lid has been bent too. Somebody had a really crap repair on this. It's been pulled out. It's probably what that is. Probably just got under here and just stood on it and yanked up on the deck lid until it straightened out enough to close. I don't know, but anyway, it's a cheap car though, so I'm not, nothing really traumatizes me about it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that bumper cover and start assessing things and see what we're going to have to do. Ding dong, they're doing something over there. Alright, tune in a little bit. Yeah, well, okay, you can definitely see now that this car took a shot in the rear end without a doubt. Got the bumper cover off, that's in the junk pile. Resonance. And if you look in the trunk in here, I got the trunk cleaned out. I see a couple places where it definitely crinkled a little bit. Right there, I think, is some of it on the right side in the trunk floor, and then over here, absolutely. You see that? That is definitely impact damage. So it's kind of got a little bit anyway. So that looks like that was mainly fixed or disguised or whatever you want to call it. The sides aren't too bad. This side's straight on the bottom where the bumper cover goes. Down there, that's okay. But this side over here, definitely, this taillight was busted when I got it, so this was the second time around, I guess. But it's got a, see right there, it's got a little crunched in place there. So, it is what it is. It's never going to be exactly right, but a good front. I did find a USA made multi-tool right there and a wrench, which was not made in the USA, but I'll take free tools any time of the day. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pull those taillights off, and I'm going to remove that deck lid and put the new one on, and just see how close it is or how far off it is. This one, the gap's pretty good on it. It's a little wide over here. Anyway, and that will tell me, I think what that'll tell me where we need to go. I think what's going to have to happen is this. You see right here where this mounts to the frame. Yeah, somebody's already been in here working on this, I think, because that is not a Mazda. Whatever that is not a Mazda brace there, I'm sure. But you see how it's been, when you look at it, how that thing's popped in, and that part over here also is popped in. I think what's going on is this thing's kind of bowed right where my fingers are. I think it kind of right there, and that's what's got the alignment of the yeah, that looks nasty under there. That's what it's got, the alignment of the taillights off and everything. So what's the solution to this? Well, I don't know, except I'm going to try something. First thing I think I will try is I'm going to try to, that's an aluminum, that's styrofoam on the outside, but that's aluminum right here. It's pretty strong. So I think I'm going to get this thing turned around, and I'm going to use my come along and I may use my come along on this end, and I'm really going to tie the front of the car to that pole over there if I can. I may not be able to, but some way or another, I might have to go around back and do it, but I think I'm going to. What is this? Can't park in front of a fire hydrant. I think I'm going to try to pull this thing out. So that's what we'll do. We'll see if we have success. Let's get those lights out and that trunk lid off. Well, here's the replacement trunk lid on, and that trunk lid was off an on wrecked car. And this, I'll tell you real quick how far this thing's been pushed in. I put it back exactly the way it was on the other car. Look at that. Which now it's not all the way closed, but take a look in there. There's your latch right there. Okay, there's the striker. Now, can you see where it's closing? It's closing directly on the weather strip. So it's it's probably about an inch and a half off, if not 2 inches. So yeah, boy, this thing took a shot, man. Poor old car. So anyway, yeah, I see that's a bend in it right there. So yeah, it's off for sure. So anyway, next up I think we're gonna do some yanking and pulling and see what we can get to happen here. Maybe if we're lucky it'll just pop back out, you think? Getting there. This is my primitive frame machine. I got the cable, the strap there. Yeah, got it come along to the tree up here, so I've got it under tension. So I've been using my adjustment tool there, my precision adjustment tool, to try to get this back apron pulled back out. So that's looking pretty good, but it's still got a pretty good gap right there, which I'm not sure if that's actually going to come out or not. It's supposed to, so I'll work on that a little bit more. See what we get. All right then, got all this pulled out, and the trunk lid's lined up as good as it's going to get. I think it is able to be closed now. It does close. the latch adjustment needs a little bit of work on. The whole thing is, you know, it's out of whack still, but the gap's got a little bit better. That one fair enough, that one not so good. That tail light is sitting flush in there now when you put it in, and this one mostly I had to come out from in here and pull that back out with a hammer, a sledgehammer. And of course you saw I had tension on the back of it here, trying to relieve it with some tension on it to hopefully it would kind of come back out, but I don't think that made much difference really. So anyway, I got that deck lid prepped, which means I sanded it with some sandpaper, 400 grit, roughed it up some so the paint will stick, and disassembled it first, of course, as you saw. And I'm going to use my roll of paper, industrial paper towels, to mask it and clean it again and paint it and put it back together. There's the dead one. There's the rest of the trunk stuff in there. So I think it's not going to look perfect. It's just a beater. The paint is some generic paint that's pretty close, so it's the fact that the name of the paint's called Pretty Close. Not really. But anyway, we'll get this thing further along here. Check back in a little bit. Alrighty, well, everything has been carefully wiped down and masked with my professional masking system. So it's time to lay down some color. Let's get to it. Alright, well, got a couple coats on now. It's looking pretty good. I got a little boo-boo right there. I ran my metallic a little bit. You gotta be careful with the metallics. I may have to adjust my spray gun a little bit. But you know, I'm confident that this is gonna be totally indistinguishable from the original paint. I don't think they'll even be able to tell this car was ever repaired. Okay, well, here's what this thing looks like now. Got the ugly off of it finally. It's not perfect by any means. It's just a backyard repair, but I got the bumper and the trunk fixed and put the right hubcaps back on it, put the right wheels all back on it. Of course, it's still got some cruddy tires on it. I got all of these tires I got out of the junkyard. I'm actually amazed that any of them work, but they do. So, but it needs two for sure. So, but anyway, there you go. I guess that repair cost me about, the deck lid was $35. The bumper came with the car. The busted tail light replacement, that came with the car also. And then the paint was about $20 for all the paint and just my labor. And then the hubcaps were $50 for 4 hubcaps, 4 used hubcaps, which I'm going to wire onto the wheels because those hubcaps are well known to come off for whatever reason. So there you go. Goodbye, ugly. Can't stand to drive a car that's beat up like that. I don't mind old. I don't mind scratched. I don't mind a little dented, but when it's bashed in like that, my brother said it looked like a criminal, and he's about right. So, and speaking of my brother, he's got a protege just like this one, and guess what just happened to him? He went to go leave in his car recently. He was visiting somewhere and stopped for something and went back out, and it wouldn't start. But then finally he said he rode the starter enough that it finally started a little bit, and that sure sounds familiar. Boop, 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 boop. And guess what code it pushed? 1345. That's our good old cam sensor. So he's got one going out too. It's been an epidemic with these things. But they're good cars. See you guys.